Hello, welcome to another edition of Loud Dispatch, starring your host
Mark.
and Cheech.
Cheech.
Uh, Tonight, before we get started, as always, I would like to thank our sponsors. By the way, all of our sponsors, actually don't have sponsors. Like, don't even think about that. Like, we're just two dudes like talking about shit, and like we hope that we can engage with you guys. But tonight's sponsor is Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, I know
They're
what that is.
hoping to be open this year for the summertime camp classes that they have. However, due to COVID-19, they're not sure whether or not they will be open or not. So
They're
fingers
not concerned
crossed.
about the mass murderer, though. It's just
No,
COVID-19. No. Mass murder, totally
never
okay.
that's never
See,
happened. That's never
That's
happened. No,
part
no,
of the
no, no,
charm
no, no,
of the place.
no,
Part of
no,
the
no,
charm.
no, no, no. All right, Scream reference, real quick. Hey, let me ask you a question. Who is the killer in that movie? In the very first one?
In the very first Scream?
No.
Oh.
In the
The one Crystal Lakes? It was Jason. That's a Jason movie. It was
who is the first killer in the first movie?
It was
I make this reference because this is the exact same question that she gets wrong in Scream.
It was Jason's mother.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
You are correct, sir. Well played. Well played. And then
I didn't have enough liquor in me at first, but now I'm good.
Yeah. At very first glance there, I was about to be like, oh, I don't know.
So I knew Crystal Lakes was the Jason franchise. Again, I'm not a horror fan, everybody.
Correct.
Everybody, whoever's listening, whatever. I like some horror movies. I don't dislike horror movies. I just don't go for them. I did know that Crystal Lakes was the campground in the Jason movies, and they're good.
Yeah, I watch a lot of horror movies. I watch a lot of terrible horror movies because I think they're fantastic. And I watch a lot of great horror movies as well. I watch everything. I am a movie buff, but we'll get to that. Tonight, we had planned on talking about a little bit about music history and like where it has come. Not music history.
Recorded music and the media that it's printed on and where it's gone to from there.
Right.
And the industry. And so about an hour ago, Cheech called me and told me this is the topic. And
yeah.
I don't know if anybody can hear my son, but he wants to say hi. No? Okay, cool. Never mind. Cut that.
It's cool. We'll do an editing. Yeah, right. Editing. So, like, you think about music, right? Like, technically, music is sound waves moving in vibrations that create, these beautiful archetypes of sound.
The sound waves are vibrations in the air.
Right.
That's exactly what they are.
Right.
It's the air vibrating.
So with that being said, I mean, we can take it all the way back, like this is how people used to get their news. This is how, like, you'd have your singing maestro through the streets and whatnot. Long story short, so let's forward ahead a little bit. Let's get into, like, now we're sitting around campfires and we're playing like guitars, you know what I mean? Like we're writing songs, we're singing lullabies, we're doing all these things, you know what I mean?
Talking present day?
What's that?
Are we talking present day or are we going
back? No. We're going back.
Cowboy campfires, kumbaya.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to fast forward a little bit here. We have all kinds of different like recording equipment and stuff now. Like we're looking into like actually like recording like music, right? As an art form. But like we're not thinking of it of that. We're thinking of it as entertainment. So we're thinking about broadcasting, like live broadcasting, like radio and stuff, right? And they realized, like, we need something like the FCC. Like, we do have freedom of speech. Yes, this is correct. Every American has it. However, if you want to broadcast through any radio station, you need to make sure that you're cleared through the FCC.
We don't have have
to. So we don't have to, right? But at the time you did. So, okay. So now at this point, bands are coming along. Music is starting to pick up. We're starting to see these trends. People are starting to like, oh my God, what do I do? We start getting into like records, right? You know what I mean? Like people are listening to records all the time. Like they're going out, they're buying singles, they're buying full length records. Like they might hear one song on the radio and be like, wow, that's really catchy. Now I need to buy this record, right? And I remember as a kid, my grandmother, we used to go to this restaurant, and right next door to the restaurant was a music store. So I would always like slob down my food real quick and then be like, yo, 50 cent, 45s. My grandma would slip me a 5 and be like, go get some music. And I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd have all these like 45s, like singles. Like I'd have like a couple records here and there. You know what I mean? Like, and it really got me into music, like as a little kid, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then like we skip forward a little bit, and I remember being like this dude that was like so into music, and I'm listening to like cassette tapes, right? And like I'm trying to buy like regular music, and like I'm buying the full album. You could buy singles like on cassette tapes, mind you, right? You could record from the radio from it. And like, you know, you'd have to pause play, you know what I mean, record it all at the same time and like be ready for it and like hit the pause button like as soon as the commercial break was over. Like it's a whole thing, right? Like, so a mixtape to me is very genuine. If somebody actually sat down and took the time to make a mixtape for me, like a physical mix tape, cassette tape, that means something, right?
It did. I mean,
it did.
Mixtapes aren't really a thing anymore.
Right. Now we move into like the age of like CDs, right? We're like, oh, we can skip ahead. We don't have to rewind. You know what I mean? It's not going to play out. Like we can like, oh, we can listen to CDs. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be great. And then it was like CDs were like cool for like a minute. Like everybody bought CDs. Everybody had cases of CDs. Everybody was burning CDs, like doing all this crazy stuff.
2 decades, CDs were really into 2 decades. CDs were the thing.
Yeah. I'd say like a good decade and a half. You know what I mean?
Cheers.
Now we move in. Cheers. Yes. Now we move into like multimedia, like downloading music, right? Like Napster
digital
and shit, right? Yeah.
Digital.
Like, okay, so now we can digitally like, you know, have these sales. We can digitally sell our product. We can digitally make this happen, like all this shit, right? And what's crazy to me now is like now, like you would have to have like back in the day, you would have to have like a Zune. I'm gonna go ahead and have that was my first piece of audio equipment was a Zune. By the
Your
way,
first digital MP3 player.
For those of you, okay, so for those of you
like 14 or 26 songs or something.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, do you remember like the iPod? Like, you know what I mean? Like back in the day. Okay, well, this was Microsoft's version, and it had like games, and it was like the Samsung version of the Apple, right?
Mine wasn't even that advanced. Mine held, I think it was a maximum of 20 songs, and that's it. You didn't have a screen on it. You just had to blindly flick through and know your placement of songs.
Right. This is exactly what I'm getting at. So, with that being said, then we move into like this like whole downloading and like saving on the cards. Then we like move it onto our phones because now our phones are advanced, right?
Super computers, yep.
Right. And now it's like we don't even need to do that because all we need to do is stream music. And as long as you have like some kind of music source like Amazon Music or like, you know,
Spotify,
iTunes, Pandora, like whatever.
All people we want to put this podcast out with, so we want to
promote
them, yes.
Like I'm just saying, like you don't need to like buy anything, purchase anything. Like it's all there for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's the same way that the music industry has changed as well. So let's go back in time and let's talk about that, right?
Before we do that first, so there was a part I wanted to cover, but I didn't want to stop you.
Yeah, please.
So let's go at the actual physical formation of music, right? real quickly, I'll cover this.
Okay.
We started off way back in the day with what you would say brass cylinders with punches, not recessed, but popped out portions of it, so that as these fingers went along, these metal fingers, it would hit this thing and fling the finger, and you get a ding, 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 music boxes. We went from that format, advanced that a little bit, and then we went into what I believe would be records next. Vinyl, same concept.
No, there were a couple different formats. There was things like that. There was other things like you would actually have like hole punches where you would have like a letter board that would roll through. Same idea, yes, right? Yes. But on different platforms. And let's be clear, you know what I mean? It is different platforms.
So let's go from there. We advanced into records at that point, from doing this mechanical music to something that works similar, but then amplifies the sound through a speaker. And it was raised and lowered areas on vinyl that this needle would skip over, a very sensitive needle, and it would read those vibrations and play music. And then we got into 8-tracks. And I believe cassettes and 8-tracks were kind of the same concept, with a film or a tape inside that was read.
Yes, correct.
And then we got into the CDs, and the CDs were essentially the same idea as a record, but instead of a needle reading the dips and dives and the rises and everything, it was a laser eye that would read digital information, ones and zeros or whatever
binary code
at that point we were using. Ones and zeros, those things would have been the size of cars, but
right.
And that's how it was made. And then that technology format itself into the digital age. The same technology is actually used. I mean, the computer is just reading binary code, but it's a much more advanced form of binary code at this point.
Right.
And that's how digital music is working. So I wanted to cover that evolution also. But please, let's go into
and please
at this point.
Please don't get me wrong. Like, if there's anything that anybody wants to comment on, please. We're not saying that we're experts. We just know some shit. Like, that's it. Like, we're not saying we're
that much. I just have learned some things along the way, and I could be completely wrong.
Right.
I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
And it was. Did you really?
No. It sounded really good, didn't it?
It did sound really good. No. That could have been a sponsor. Like, that could have been.
Oh, maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Probably Spring Hill Suites or something.
So let's talk a little bit quickly about like the music industry, right? Like where it goes, right? Like people realize very early on that you can make music, like you can make money playing music, like selling the news, doing, you know what I mean? Like just having a job, like being a street peddler, you know what I mean? Like
so as far back as, orchestras and Mozart and symphonies, and the only way to hear that music was to go see it, and those people paid to go see it.
Right. So what I'm getting at is that, like, going further down the line, like, there's no reason, like, we start these record labels, right? That would, like, basically what a label is it gives you money that you pay back with a very, very high interest. And they give you all these contacts and information, and they're supposed to hook you up and like make you, where it is.
Well, they give you money to make the record, and a lot of times they will actually push you towards a producer in a studio.
Correct.
The reason they're giving you money is to make content.
Correct.
Okay.
This was the way it was. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Now again,
and they would find you. I think we want to cover this. They would find you a lot of times word of mouth. Back in the 50s and stuff.
Right. Okay.
You didn't have money to make albums and send them out.
Yes.
You would play shows. People would talk.
Yes. People would hear it on the radio. You know what I mean?
Well, you would end up getting to the radio locally, and it would get heard, and you would grow, and it was a slow movement.
Right, but if your record got played on the radio, like back in the 50s, it was like, oh my God, we're gonna be rock stars, In
the 2000s, we were like that with Draw Monday when our albums would be played. We'd be like, oh, look at us, we're
Meanwhile, there's like 4 people listening, and they're like,
Sunday night radio, nobody's on.
shit, this is the only station. All right, I guess so. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Dream Nintendo was played on the X, and it was like, yeah, we were like, all right, this is cool, and then it was like, just like,
so, yeah, okay. Boner done.
All right. But yeah, so anyway, the point that I'm getting at is that you start getting into these like record companies, right? And what they make money off of is record sales. So when you sign a contract, there's multiple different ways. We're not even going to get into it. But a contract basically means that you can either sign the rights to the music itself, meaning that the music that you wrote, you are signing the rights over to this company for their money, their sponsorship, everything else, or you can sell the rights to the recordings that you are going to be doing with this company.
Okay, I was going to say, there is a difference.
Mm-hmm. There's a very big difference.
In the whole art world.
Absolutely.
People are buying a finished product, a recorded record.
Correct.
The actual physical recorded record. Same with artwork. When I did graphic design, I've done it my whole life. When you create artwork, it is your property. The customer is buying the right to use it and the printed artwork that you give them, or whatever purpose it is, digital, but it is my property.
Right.
Whoever created it, the company you work for, yourself, music, the record label,
whatever
money, it could be their music. You have to look in contracts and things, right?
And this
a lot of people in the old days.
I will say this is why you see a lot of albums coming out that are re-recordings of previous albums that are just being re-released, like uncut, right? Yep. Because they now have the rights to either the music that they recorded with the label and they're putting out themselves to make money, or they are re-recording all of the tracks because they still own the rights to the songs, but just want to put it out at a particular time when they know that it's going to be selling. You know,
well, they might not own the rights to the recording of the song, but the song, the actual material, they own.
Right.
But the record label would own the actual recorded version of it.
Correct. Now,
you know, but you own your song.
So, with that being said, the music industry would look at that and they'd be like, okay, so let's see how many, you know, albums you've sold, right? You know what I mean? Let's see where you're at independently wise, what your following is.
Well, you didn't have that originally. It wasn't like
no. Yeah, you're right. You're right. In the 50s, it was right. Yeah,
that thing you do.
Yeah, right.
You wrote a song, record label heard it, boom. You know.
Right. We're skipping ahead. We're
We're way ahead. We're nowadays with social media.
Right. Well, and that's kind of like where I'm trying to get to. Is the evolution of it. You know what I mean? Like record labels, like we both are. Like record labels used to.
There's not really a head or behind at this point. Right now, you just got to try and keep up.
All right, so follow me here, right? Record labels actually used to come out and listen to bands, and they would invest money in the bands because they thought bands would make money for them, right? Eventually, this changed, and record labels started to become loans, like banks. Like they would put money behind you, and they would expect money back. And it's at this point where, you know, you see a lot of people revolting and trying to be like, okay, well, we're going to put this out independently, right? But that's not as easy as it seems. Yes, it may be easy to record and it may be easy to print and everything else, but to actually physically sell copies of your album is very difficult.
To distribute it across the nation or country or world or, you know.
Which is
same nation country, by the way.
Which is what a label does. There's more that a label does too, and we're not going to get into that tonight. But at another point, we will.
This is a whole new conversation if we want to get into like the record industry, the music industry.
So my point being is that now, you know, it used to be that you'd have to go to the store and you'd have to buy a 45, or you'd have to buy a, you know, cassette tape, or you'd have to buy a CD, or you'd have to buy something physical. Now we're at the point where you can download a song, right?
Well, let's go back. So originally it was based on actual talent.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be good enough for a record label to think this is marketable. I can sell this. You know, put some sunglasses on this guy. They all wear the same suit. Boom. We're going to make money off of this. And they would go out and find your market and put you in it and help develop you as a product.
By the way,
it's more of you have to almost market yourself.
Yeah.
And in most cases, have a following for the record label to look at you and say, we can make money off them because they've already done the legwork.
Right.
It's a lot of cases. I mean,
and
not all.
By the way, I'm going to drop a little trivia on you. What was the first group that was put together as like a actual like group, right? Like they did TV show about them and everything else, but they were a manufactured group put together in order to play music.
By a record company or by
a record company.
Okay. Let me start. I love trivia, but let me first start. I'm going to start naming some decades. See if I'm even close. I'm going to say the 50s.
Bro, you ready for this shit?
I don't know. Was I close?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
It was the Monkees.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They were the 50s.
Were they the 50s?
Hell yeah, they were the 50s. Were they? Oh, no, wait. Maybe they were the 60s because they were pretty psychedelic.
Yeah.
But that's who I was going to guess. Damn it, you should have cut me off.
I should have, but I didn't. Anyway.
The Monkees, because they were literally a joke at the beginning. Did you freeze or are you staring at me? You froze. Okay. That's a great freeze frame though, man. I don't know if you saw any of that, but you froze hardcore.
Yep, same here.
Oh, that was cool. Oh, dude, I was talking to you the whole time. That was awesome.
It was cool. It was cool, right?
I had this look like I was completely wrong about something, but so it really kind of made me nervous. So, the Monkees, I initially were put together as not a joke, but a parody of the Beatles and the Beach Boys and.
Yeah, and as a TV show as well, because they wanted to market them.
They're the first Backstreet Boys, is what we're saying.
Right.
They're the first boy band, pop genre, put together for a purpose of entertainment band by a national conglomerate.
Yes.
I felt like that was pretty accurate.
So my point being, let's keep going down this track though. Okay. So, again, you would have to buy these articles in order to make sales, right? Then when we were in the business, right, like record labels didn't give a shit about what you sold. They wanted to see what your sound scans were. And what a sound scan is there's a barcode on the back of every CD. And every time it's registered at a store or wherever, it rings out. And that barcode goes into what's called SoundScan. And SoundScan registers like ticket sales, it registers all kinds of stuff. And it shows the progression of a band, like where they're at. Like, if people are buying, tickets to their shows, if people are going to go.
Well, first of all, you have to have your music in distribution already.
Correct.
We sold CDs and there was no barcode on that shit. Nobody scanned anything, you know?
Right.
So.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is all stuff that I had to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? Like
by selling 1,000 CDs before you realize it makes no difference.
Right. Yeah. We sold like somewhere in the we sold a lot of CDs. We sold a lot of digital downloads. You know what I mean? But now we're in the age where you can just stream music. Like music just streams, right? Like any kind of app, like you can just stream music. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to go to anywhere. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this: does that kill legitimacy?
I don't think it kills legitimacy. What I think it kills is it kills the idea that you actually have to go out and physically purchase an album. Like in order to listen to NWA's like Straight Outta Compton and like Easy Does It and like all these albums that I wanted as like a kid, like get a bus to Century City Mall. I would have to pay
Spotify. I have almost every song I ever want to listen to.
But what I'm saying as a kid, right? Like I would literally have to go to the mall, like, you know what I mean? Like pay some dude like extra money to go in and buy me a parental advisory CD, right?
Or record it off the radio if you could stand the radio edit.
No, because you couldn't stand the radio edit with the Ghetto Boys, right? All right? You can't do that. Like I was listening to some hardcore hip hop. And like
I like hip hop too.
Real quick, my parents heard a recording of my cousin and I talking one day about hip hop that we had purchased, right? Like cassette tapes that we had purchased, and we were like, "Oh yeah, the Ghetto Boys, NWA, Straight Outta Compton, oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, I can't believe we got the Yellow Album." You know what I mean? Like we got Bone Enterprise, like, oh, it's gonna be so lit. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be, whatever the words were at that time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But we were like very, very, like way too young to be listening to this shit. Like we were like, blowjobs, that's cool. What the fuck is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and there wasn't Google or Wikipedia at the time, so
right. Like you would actually have to like physically like, okay,
we're older than
figure this
Google
out.
for
Right.
the kids out there.
Yeah. But like the point that I'm getting at is that, now we're at the point where streaming is the way to do it. You don't make money off of selling albums anymore.
You don't.
This is not where it's from. It's from streaming. It's from media. It's from, participating. And like that's why you saw this blip in music for a while where bands were like, look, we're gonna put our whole album up on our page. If you like it, donate something. If not, we don't give a shit. Like just listen to it. You know what I mean? Because it's respect for the art.
It is. It is. When I mentioned legitimacy, what I was trying to use as a point is, so now, like you and I have both played out hundreds, probably together over 1,000 shows easily.
Whoa, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. We have played with some very shitty bands. Yeah. Some very good bands, but some very, very shitty bands.
Mm-hmm.
But those bands have the same ability to upload their music and sell it on the same platform that every other band, professional, amazing, sucky, they all have this ability now to it equalizes. I don't know how to say this. The platform, the playing field is now leveled, right? Everybody has the same platform. Now it's just who you have in your corner, who's helping you promote,
right?
Following. Right. We played with some great bands that were just crappy people. Right. Nobody liked them.
Well, and that's
how are you going to make a following when everybody thinks you're a bunch of assholes?
Real quick, that's something that I'd like to bring up. So almost every show you play, right? Like as a local artist, right? You get to the show, there's tons of bands there, bands that you know, bands that you don't know, you know what I mean? Like opening acts and whatnot. And like the bands that you do know, you're like, oh, hey, what's going on, guys? What have you guys been up to? Oh, what you been doing? Oh, you recording stuff? Oh, you're doing stuff? Oh, that's great. Like, sounds cool. You know what I mean? The bands that you don't know, you're like, who the fuck are these guys?
I can't hear you.
They cool? They cool? We good? Do we want to be friends with them? You know
a little more.
It's like very, very clicky. Like, you know.
It is. And so I kind of enjoyed that because we were so Drop Monday was at a point, I think, where we considered ourselves, maybe we weren't, but we considered ourselves, say, higher half of Pittsburgh's better music scene. We were on the top 50%, maybe 51, maybe right there, but we kind of put ourselves in that higher. So we knew all the bands at the time in Pittsburgh. We played with all of them. So when it came down to like who knew who, we were in the upper echelon, which I kind of liked, but we were never rude to any band, So real quickly, we played a show at Mr. Small's once. This random band had contacted us and wanted an opening spot. We were like, hell yeah, little metal band. They were younger guys, cool. When they got there, they were like 12 and 13, right? And we met them in the green room, in the back room of Mr. Small's, and we're hanging and we're drinking. They're obviously not, and their parents are there. We're chatting with their parents and them, and they were so nervous. I think this was one of their first shows, and I'd say there was a few hundred people in there. It was a good sized show, and they got up on stage, and we all pushed our way to the front, and we just cheered these guys on. I mean, they were rocking for their age. I mean, they weren't refined or anything, but man, they were stiff for like 2 songs, and then the third song hit, and we were cheering. We had other people clapping and cheering. Man, they felt it. They got into the groove. They started headbanging and move. Oh, it was so amazing as a musician. I felt like a proud parent at the time because like we're in the back right before they went on. They're nervous, they're pacing, and we're like, "You got this, guys. Don't worry. You know, everybody's here to see you. All your buddies are in the crowd. They're gonna love it. You know." And everybody screws up. They're gonna have no idea. That's what anybody who's ever played in a band has no idea. We screw up all the time, and you feel so bad about it on stage, but nobody knows. Nobody that isn't already played the songs knows. So, you know, these guys, they ended up having an amazing night. If they were any older, I'd say they went home and got laid, but of course they didn't. But, you know, they probably got pizza and ice cream. And I mean, it was just so amazing to see this. And to me, although I love being in that upper echelon as my own pride, to see this and to, you know, work with these young kids, and it was amazing, man. Probably one of the coolest moments in Drop Monday's history.
So interesting. So I was in a band called the Have-Nots, right?
I love the Have-Nots.
And the Have-Nots were like a ska band. We had a horn section, like the whole nine. I played trumpet, trombone. The Have-Nots.
No, of the horn section.
The Brass Holes. We played a little show on like one of these bars that were set like alongside the river, right? So you could dock your boat up, get out, come onto the bar. Do you know what bar I'm talking about?
It was a battle of the bands that we played with you guys.
Yeah.
Down at what used to be Donzi's.
Yes.
In the Strip District, and it's like 3 bars on a dock.
Yeah. Okay.
One of my favorite.
Yeah. Do you remember? Do you remember the keg on the boat? Okay.
Yes, because we spent half the day on the boat.
Yeah, we were half kicking the ass, but it was funny because we went on. You know, we did our thing. Everybody had a great time. It was a wonderful show. And then, like later on in the evening, there was this group called the Known World, right?
They're the ones with the bass player was a little tubby kid, but he had this flea, sparkly silver. I don't know how I remember this stuff. But he had this silver flea modulus edition bass. It was like a $1,700 bass. I didn't have anything like this. And they were absolutely epic, right?
Not to mention the fact that at one point, all 3 of them got up and switched instruments all the way around. Like did a
Oh my God, I forgot that.
And without even skipping a beat. And these kids were, I mean, like
stellar.
13,
they were
14.
I felt like an asshole playing after this kid.
Well, what's funny is I still talk to like this one kid, and like.
Do you really?
Yeah, absolutely.
We played other shows with them. I remember that.
He's a brilliant musician. I mean, he really is a brilliant musician. Dave Yarkovsky. Yeah, if you guys haven't ever heard of him, but you know what I mean, like shameless plug, but. It was he's fantastic. The point that I think we're trying to make here is, so looking at the evolution of music, looking at where it's going, looking at where we're at. Mark, where do you feel music is going? Not in the direction of like music per se, because we already discussed in genres, subgenres, that music comes and goes in waves, right? But what I'm saying is that can you predict what the future of music is going to be if we're already streaming music straight directly to our phones? Is it going to be like an implant in our head? What do you think?
Can you see this? Can you see this image?
Yes.
This is that show at Donzi's. This was Drop Monday at that show.
Yeah, that would be them.
I remember that. So,
our band had a boat with a keg on it, so we all just partied on the boat. Yeah,
all the bands that we knew the Have-Nots pretty well. We played a lot of show with you guys, and we ended up we just used the boat as a green room and got hammered, and we spent the whole day there.
Nuts! It was crazy. I don't know what. Anyway, but yeah, continue.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what even we're working on at this point, technology wise, to guess at what the future of music distribution is. That's what you're thinking, is music distribution. You know, the platform that music is bought and played on. So I don't know. I mean, if we're already digital, The only thing I could see is bands broadcasting their own music through radio waves or some megahertz frequency, and you have to buy the right platform to receive it, and or sign on. What you're going to end up doing is signing on to their page or their megahertz on your phone in some app and paying the band for their own music. But I don't know. I mean, do you have a better idea?
I don't think so. Honestly, if you look at it, right, like you used to come out with like one single and people would be like, wow, that's crazy, right? Like then you would come out with an album, and people would be like, oh, that's crazy, right? Now it's about the discography. It's about how many genres can you fit into a discography, right? Like, so if you write 100 songs, it's better put 100 songs in your discography, because one of those songs somebody might listen to and like and be like, yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. Meanwhile, they hate the entire discography, but like these like 5 songs out of like 100 they like, right?
Yeah.
So like obviously building up a discography and building up something that like of merit, you know what I mean? Like not just like shit, just like putting stuff out there, but like actually producing stuff and like putting stuff out there, I feel like is something that is really like imperative. Also, I feel like monetizing, you know what I mean? If you want to make money off of it, monetizing your streams.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I had a thought. Maybe I've had a little too much scotch. I don't know. But I lost it. So
it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know. So okay, let me just dive right into something else similar. Actually, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna answer off the top of my head now. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I don't, you know. But isn't that the fun? Let's see what's next. I mean,
it's the fun, but if you want to make money in the industry, right? If you want to make money in business, right, you always have to know where it's going, where the trends are, right? So you want to follow trends.
Do you? Yes. Or can you make the trend? Can't you just follow your heart and make the trend?
You can make the trend if the trend is makeable. But what I'm saying is,
so at this point, I'm saying though, it's not the same goal. You're not looking to get famous. You're looking to make your artwork.
Hold up. Let me specify. Not the trend, but like, for example, right? When we were playing music, everybody was sending out press kits, right? Now they're called EPKs, electronic press kits. But at the time, you would send out physical press kits that had like music clippings about your band, like in the news and everything else. And it would have like, you know, like who your band members are, your bio, your like links, all your information in it.
You're selling yourself.
It was right. You're selling yourself, right? It's solicited material, right? That unless you're signed to a label, a record station can't listen to, like a radio station cannot listen to. So what I'm saying is that you sign to this. And we were lucky enough to be signed to a label, so like we got solicited material. But like what I'm talking about is changing trend-wise. What we would do is instead of sending the entire thing in a manila envelope where they're getting, you know, 50,000 manila envelopes,
we're sending an email or a link to a site.
Right. I'm sending you a film reel, and what I did, you know, take a film reel can. And you would put your bio, and instead of having a bio, you would have a poster, like a movie poster, because our CD was called Break Up at the Movies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You had a movie poster, and then there were popcorn in there, like microwavable popcorn and everything else, like our album, news clippings, everything, you know what I mean, the whole nine. But it was displaying us in a different way that set us apart from everybody else. So what's the different trend?
Marketing. You know, it's not up to me. The next creative person will create the trend. It's like resumes. Resumes have gone from a black and white printed piece of paper to a chocolate bar with funky ingredients like work output and production and stuff as the ingredients. Or it's all marketing ploys. What's the best and most creative way to sell you? How do you catch somebody's eye or ear? In music's case, you know, or I mean, Sometimes it's marketable because it's beautiful, not because it sounds good. You know,
right. Not disagreeing.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think your marketing plan was brilliant. Little movie reel, you know. So Drop Monday's album that we never actually released, recorded twice, never released, 3 times actually, was Drop Monday, 1 week at a time. You know, it was a cool concept. We were going to actually do calendars and cut the Mondays off. You know, and we just never got to that point. But you know, so Drop Monday spent more of their time playing shows than recording, which it's hard legacy to, you know, you don't really keep much from that, just memories, but that was what we loved. We were a rock band. We were all about the stage presence, except for Jay, all about the stage presence. I mean, he was a great guitar player, and he was the musical. He had the best ear I think I've ever seen in my life. All right. But he couldn't move on stage for a damn. So he could write great music, and he played a great guitar. But
it's been what, 12 years now, 13 years, right?
What, since Drop Monday played?
Yeah,
no,
like
no,
with Stolars.
Yeah, no. Remember, we did that Hard Rock. We did a 5-year reunion. About 5 years after we broke up, we played a show at the Hard Rock. It sold it out. I mean, it was the most money we had ever made as a band. Best show we ever played. That was with Jay.
Listen,
and then, you know, we broke up again.
I'm not saying that he wasn't fantastic. I'm not saying that he was. I'm just saying he was okay.
He was, yeah. I don't want to talk bad on Jay. Yeah. Jay was his own person. You had to love him or hate him.
Right.
But he was a hell of a musician.
Absolutely.
A hell of a musician. Could play any instrument too. You could put him on a trumpet, he could play it.
So with that being said, like what we're getting at is that music follows these evolutions. Like there's all these different changes in music, like from the music industry to like how we stream music, how we listen to music, like how we get music, how we receive. And it also comes down to media as well, too, like how we receive media. Like right now, Mark and I are in 2 separate rooms, yet we're recording this video.
2 separate houses. We're not even in the same house, everybody, just so you know.
And we're sending it to you live, like right after we record it. We're sending it to you. So, like, what I'm saying is like.
Speaking of live, we have figured out the issue. We are tech geniuses.
We hope.
We stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So the issue's figured out. My camera works now. You can see me and hear me. So we will be doing some live things still during the lockdown until Cheech and I can get in the same room. Our plan is to be where Cheech is at with a little more lighting and a little more fluff and buff and
guys, I promise you, my basement has all types of stuff in it. Like, I kid you not. There's a movie theater.
We'll show you the Pittsburgh potty.
Yeah, there's a Pittsburgh potty. There's a projector. There's a 6-foot popcorn maker, which I'm not bullshitting you. There's movies out the ass. Like, you have no idea. Which is maybe what's going to segue. Yeah,
this tree is coming, and we're going to put a hat and some sunglasses on it, and his name now is Luke. So.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We might even change the name of the whole podcast. Who knows? To like, Luke the Tree.
I dig LOUDdispatch. No one even knows what loud means yet.
Right. But so final thoughts. I think that music in general, and we'll leave it at this because I think we're gonna bankroll into.
Wait, before final thoughts, I really like the trivia thing.
Okay.
So I want to throw one at you.
All right.
Really
bad at it.
No, you might know this. So, knocking on heaven's door.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you know? Who do you think of when you hear that? Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. I can't sing. Sorry.
Like, who do I think?
Oh, Guns N' Roses. I'm sorry. Right. Let me just cut it to Guns N' Roses are the ones. Use Your Illusion. Beautiful song. Do you know who actually wrote it?
No.
You don't take. So think obscure folk god.
Weird Al Yankovic.
You're so far off. He's not folk.
All right, go for it.
It was a Bob Dylan original.
I could see that.
Yeah, I never knew that. I always thought that song was written by Guns N' Roses.
You had your phone.
I heard his version. It is as beautiful.
Since we're on the topic, while you got your phone out, why don't you look up Weird Al Yankovic's discography?
Oh, I love Weird Al. What do you want to know?
Dude, incredible. There are so many artists that we don't even realize that like write and produce and record and everything for other artists and like just make them what they are. Like,
so it is. I've been a Weird Al fan most of my life. Mm-hmm. I grew up. You were talking about you grew up on rap and stuff, and I did want to mention. At 13, my first concert, real concert, was a Megadeth and Misfits. I grew up on hard rock and metal, and I caught a drumstick from the Misfits and picks from So I partied. I love the metal scene. Not so much anymore. I still love going to concerts, but I will stay away from mosh pits. Way too old for that crap. Oh, I got the hiccups. But shit. Where are we going with that?
I don't know. Where were you going with that?
I just wanted to say that you grew up on rap. I grew up on metal, maybe. I think that's where I was going with that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to, rap concerts. Like, my first concert was...
Oh, I would totally.
What I'm saying is it was weird because it was like I grew up on hip-hop, and then, all of a sudden that, eighth, middle grade hit, and, people were like, oh, you play the trumpet? I was like, yeah, I play it pretty good. And they were like, oh, really?
Brass trumpet.
Right. So they brought me into this room. I'm a 13-year-old. There's a 21-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old. They're all different ages. I'm the youngest person in the room. And they're like, so it's here you play Snoopy. And I'm like da 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 da. And they were like, yeah, can you play it?
Peanuts theme.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like mind you, I'm 12 years old. I'm like, yeah, all right. And I'm playing on a trumpet, and they're like, I think he'll work. I think he'll work. By the way, that band was called the Sidewalk Berserkers, and it was a Kevin Smith-inspired band, which all of the songs were, related to that. But getting back to that, it's just so funny. Niche. Yeah, it's so weird, music in general is just so weird. There's so many tangles and so many webs that you can weave with it.
I'm telling you, I've been wanting to do a Jimmy Buffett tribute band in Pittsburgh. There's so many parrot heads. The problem is you need 20 people to do a proper tribute band. And I've worked with 6 band members, and that is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I could literally get a military together easier than you can get 6 prima donna musicians together twice a week for practice and twice for shows,
Man.
But yeah. Sidewalk Berserkers. I had one band that went through 3 names once, right?
All right.
We did I don't remember the first name, it was stupid. So the second name was Uncle Monkey, right? And we were like, this is awesome. We're in high school. We're a heavy metal band named Uncle Monkey. We wrote a song about the Cookie Monster. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. Mm. It was probably one of the best. But and then we found out that there was an Australian band named Uncle Monkey. And of course, we thought we were going to get famous with the 4 songs we knew.
Clearly.
And covered shit like Typo Negative, which, okay. But yeah. So anyways, we changed our name to Dead Monkey. We killed Uncle Monkey, and so it became Dead Monkey. And that was where we ended up. And, my high school band, and never got me laid. Remember a dream, Days Confused, they say, oh, what if we weren't football players? What if we were in a band? We could probably get it. No.
Can I stop you real quick?
Please stop me.
So when you're talking about this, right, people don't understand the importance of the name of a band, right? You need a very good name because your name is your brand.
Do you?
Because yes. No, wait, no, stop. Wait, think about this, okay?
Proceed.
Think about this. if you see a Metallica logo, right?
You know exactly what it is.
Right, you know exactly what. If you see a Beatles logo without seeing the words of the Beatles in it, you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
So your brand is very important to you.
Yes, branding, but the name isn't as important as the branding of it. Let me look, for instance, Korn. Mm-hmm. They will tell you. So there's a video out there about Korn. It's between their first album. It's the recording of their second. It was a great video, right? And they sat there and they actually said, you know, we were sitting there thinking of names for bands, and somebody yelled out Korn. And we thought it was so stupid that it worked. And so basically what they prove is that the name of the band isn't as important as the branding of that name. You could
the branding of that name.
The Jackasses, right?
Yeah.
The name itself tells everybody you're a bunch of idiots. But if you play it right, like Jackass, the group did, and, you know, you did it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't as much matter what the name is if you can use it properly and brand it properly, is my take. Yeah. I do think that the name should matter, but it doesn't necessarily have to, is my take. Like even Drop Monday, I have to be honest, didn't like that name, but it grew on me and it started to get purpose and, you know, the meaning behind it. Like, you know, you wake up on a Monday, all you want to do is just be like, let's have another Sunday. So,
well, like you get asked this question, right? Like I was in a band called The Dream Intended, right? And like the Dream Intended would get asked this question like all the time, like, well,
what is the Dream Intended?
What is the Dream Intended? And it'd be like, not to work 9 to 5. Meanwhile, I'm 36 and I'm like, oh my God, a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday would be incredible. You know what I mean? Like, but I never thought.
Your dream intended?
That was our dream intended, not to work a 9 to 5. Our dream intended was to work
a 9 to 5. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, not to work.
I thought you were saying that was your dream, was to be able to work a 9 to 5.
No, now I'm saying my dream is. Yeah, now I'm saying my dream is like, oh, a 9 to 5. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
the dream intended changes.
Right. It does. It does. As
now
your
priorities change.
But it's funny because that's like what our thing was like we really wanted to be like, you know what I mean?
Rock stars.
Like this was our dream, right? And we all lived together. We lived in a 5-bedroom house. Like we all lived together.
That was a good time.
There was a lot of interesting things that happened there.
That was a good time.
Not that we're trying to talk about this but it's just coming into conversation.
We're going to tell you what our topic is, but chances are we're not going to get anywhere near it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to get used to it. We love it.
We talked about the history of it, where we think it's going. We'll get to it in final thoughts, but like, yeah. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. And so anyway, so final thoughts. So I think with branding, I think that there's a lot that can come with it. I think that this is going to be the future of what we're doing. And if you look at like, you know, trends, and if you look at styles, and if you look at everything else, this is where we're going with it. Like, in other words, like, what's the next trend? What's the next way of like getting your music out there? Like, is there something faster? Like, is there something
the next
easier?
Social media trend or whatever it is, you know?
Is it going to be a chip? Is it going to be like an eyepiece? Is it going to be like, what's it going to be?
You know how they do glasses with bone conduction? So you can buy sunglasses now that are Bluetooth, and they'll actually, instead of playing the music audibly, they'll use vibrations into your jawbone because of where it sits, right back here.
Correct.
And so, you know, so I do maybe feel like maybe someday with what was Google Glass at one point, that augmented reality smart glasses and bone conduction technology, that you're going to end up seeing a pair of glasses that allow you to take your calls and listen to your music and everything, but aren't necessarily $1,000 Google Glass augmented reality stuff, because I don't think we're anywhere near where that's useful yet.
See, I think you say that, but like you look at our cell phones, right? You know, the next wave of cell phones are going to be actual folding cell phones. So like we have the technology that we can like fold and like crumple the screen.
We can roll the screen, yes.
So
it's coming.
This is coming.
Look at what is it? The Samsung Fold. It's a foldable screen. It's literally a full screen that you can fold in half. It creases.
We have cars that can literally drive themselves. We have like technology that can do everything. This is actually what I was talking to my wife about earlier. With this pandemic, it has shown everybody that you can still get things online. Like everybody shops online. Like, and if your business in 2020, right? If you're a major business, is not doing as much online sales as it is or more than it is in the store, then there's a problem. And there's a lot.
There are platforms that have to have brick and mortar buildings.
I'm not disagreeing.
Think about furniture, mattresses, home improvement like kitchens and tiles.
Furniture is my ass. Like you can buy that shit online.
But to go and buy a bedroom set online, you don't know what size it is. I mean, I bought shit from China. They're like, it's 43 by 28. You get it, and it's like it's for a dollhouse. Like color and stuff varies. So for me, furniture is still something I like to physically go and look at. And then an end table is one thing, but a couch. I want to sit on that damn couch. I'm not going to order a couch from China and not know how comfortable it is. I think it could have cats in it for all I know.
I'm not. All I'm saying is that this pandemic has shown us that we have been able to do things that we have not been able to do in the past. Like we would have to go to the store to get these things, and like now we can order things online.
You can order groceries now.
My wife was ordering baby clothes today online, and I was just like, "This is amazing! Like we don't need to do any shopping anymore. Like I never need to go out on a Black Friday again."
I picked up liquor curbside today.
There you go.
How cool is that shit? I didn't have to get on my car to get liquor. So you froze again, but it's cool. There you go. So my final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts.
My final thoughts are, if you're looking to get in a band, mine's gonna be a little different than yours. It's not about the future of music per se, as how people should handle it. So if you're in a band, want to get heard, number one, get out there and socialize. Although I know it's hard right now. You need to be a part of the scene. You need to be active. You need to help your fellow bands. You need to build allies locally, build a network, and get out there and promote on every freaking platform that you can. Because your only chance of making it in this day and age is probably going to be on social media and digital, as record labels really don't care what you send them anymore. So get out there, network, be friendly, help, and kick ass while you're out there. Do everything you can. Enjoy what you do, and don't so we do this because we enjoy our friendship, talking, entertaining people. We don't play in bands right now. Neither one of us are in an active band. So this is our outlet for entertainment. This is our outlet to reach out to the public and have fun and good time and grow our friendship. And more importantly, it's just a project that we enjoy. And, so final thoughts are, just do it because you can love it. Radio myself, check that out.
So final thoughts on my end. I have to agree with you, Mark. We do this because we enjoy doing it. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. We just enjoy it. We enjoy each other's company.
We're drunk with Cheech digitally right now, and we'll get drunk in person when we can.
We get drunk in person. We get stoned in person. It's a good time. Like, I know that, like, we go to parties and I'm like, he's the guy, we're the guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just look out for each other. And our wives are like, oh, Jesus Christ. Just go over to the corner, go ahead, talk about your music and shit like you're going to. Because this is what we always do. We sit there, we smoke weed, we drink, and then we talk about movies and music and what's going on. And like, this is literally what we do. So my final thoughts today is like, this is literally like what Mark and I do all the time. Only this time we get to share it with everybody else, and we'd like your opinion on it. Like, I think personally.
Tell me if we suck.
Right. Like, tell me, what do you want to hear? What do you want to know about? Like, I think we were talking about maybe like topics for next week's episode is like media and like how it's evolved in like video as well.
Video killed the. It's actually kind of, we went from music to now video because video killed the radio star. So.
Oh my God! Stop!
Dad jokes. You gotta get better at your dad jokes. You are a dad.
I do.
So we want to thank everybody whoever watches this. We want to thank you all. So I've always heard, you approach something as you intend to proceed. I intend to have millions of people listening to us. So to all of our fans out there, far and wide, all across the country, the globe, we thank you for listening.
Listen, I like everybody. I like all of you that are listening. I appreciate everybody that's listening, and I hope that in the future that we will have more of these to come.
And we will do a live event now. Stay tuned on Facebook and Instagram. We'll post the time. It'll be a Facebook live video. And we'll just BS with everybody. We want you to chime in, get in the chat, talk to us, let us know what you want us to talk about. And we will go as long as we can stand before one of us wants to throw up.
Listen, in all honesty, if Mark wants to be like, the 5-string bass was the first string instrument ever recorded, and like that's wrong, like
no, that was wrong.
Well, clearly
that was wrong.
That's why I said it.
Oh no,
saying you would be able to get on and be like, yo, you're wrong. It's not blah blah blah. And I'd be like, oh shit, he's right.
Fact check on Google.
Fact checking became so much better with Google.
In fact, maybe we'll throw some fake facts out there and see who can catch us.
Ooh.
Trivia, fake facts, and sponsors that don't give us any money because they're not real.
Because there's so much no real sponsors.
Wait, we would like real sponsors someday.
We would.
I don't we don't want fake ones. We want real ones someday. But right now, we got all the fake ones in the world.
Fake ones are fun.
We like them. All right.
Have a great night. Thank you very much for watching.
LOUDdispatch. Peace out.